Hey folks, Scott Grove here. I'm going to try to make this as quick as I can. I usually don't get it accomplished, but anyway, people in their first guitars, totally amazingly freaked out. Every one of them, when they can do that thing. That's the milestone, and you have many other milestones as you go. Now, you aspire to have, the electric guitar, oddly enough, and cool enough, and sad enough. The first two electric guitars I had were within a week of each other. My mom went out and got me a 58 Les Paul Junior at Sears. They used to have a guitar department, a music department actually, back in Indianapolis, and they would carry used instruments also, and that Les Paul was there, and she got me that for $300. And then from a friend of my mother's, she also said, hey, her son is selling his electric guitar, which was a 1961 Epiphone Coronet, which I got for $75. Picked up a few more of those as time went. Those are worth a few bucks these days, but I hated them. I wanted something different and blah blah blah. So life happened. I met up with a few people in school. None of us were really amazing by any stretch of the imagination. And we just tried everything together, playing the bass through a home stereo, a little tiny from a little push button cassette recorder, had a microphone taped to a cymbal stand, and the drummer would try to sing into that. It was actually duct taped to the cymbal stand, and we would go out and we would play and get paid that way. And we all sang through my Silvertone Twin 12. I had a 412 cabinet, but with only one electric voice speaker in it, and we plugged two guitars. We had another guitar player into that, plus two vocal mics into that guitar amp, and we just did what we did and learned as we went. And that is how all your favorite bands and most famous people did it. They just had to figure it out on their own, which is, oh my God, the best way to do it. And there were no pedals. You just plugged into an amp, and that was it. And I'm trying to say that today, everything is very strange. It's cool that there are toys, and they're fun, and they consume my little brain too. And they do with a lot of you. Everybody's looking for the next great thing. I'm just trying to say, slow down. Learn to play guitar on your own. Put on whatever you use for listening to music. Try to figure it out on your own without using the internet in any way, shape, or form. This stuff, this is probably the most evil thing I've ever experienced. It changes people. It changed me. It changes everybody. And I will not try to keep going on and on, but there are horrible things happening online with different just sites, forums, YouTube, channels. I'm very guilty of it as well, and it's just people either trying to say a bunch of stuff, demonstrate a bunch of stuff. Teaching is fine. The teaching thing is cool, but it is better if you don't use these avenues. You will learn, retain, and actually become an individual stylistic player with his own thing, just like every legend you can ever name. And you're like, yeah, but we got all this new stuff now, so we do it this way. I'm just hoping this just might strike a chord with some of you. Take a year off of the internet. Just try to do that. It makes people wicked. People hate when they're on the internet. People, it changes people. Very, very odd. It's a good thing and it's a horrible thing, and it has destroyed the path for most musicians. So if you decide that you're going to stay online for the sake of being in a cult or a forum, or subscribe to even my channel or anybody else's, just stay away. I implore you to try staying away. Learn by not sitting there soaking up and those negative vibes. That's all most people live for, is to type, your tone sucks, his tone sucks. Man, go out and find your own tone, your own way. You guys are blessed with so much amazing gear. Back in my day, I know I'm like grandpa to everybody. But man, those were the days. You had to sink or swim. And it was awesome. It was totally awesome. Those of you guys who did not grow up in the 60s or 70s, yeah, you missed out big time. Because it was plug a cord into your guitar, one into your amp, and sink or swim. And it was nothing but you and your creativity. And that's where I'm going to basically end, is your creativity and your willingness to just try different things, go into the unknown, blah blah blah, is gone. You have everything here spoon-fed to you. You've heard that term a million times, and that's exactly what's happening. And then you're staring in the screen with this blue light that is already known to fry your frickin' mind. A lesson or two to try to help you out, that's okay, I think. Lessons that are enough to get you over a place where you are stuck. Okay, I think that is good for a person. You know, it's the world we live in. But to just sit here and become a flippin' mutant, you become evil. I become evil. I have many times. And I keep wondering why. It's because of the internet and because of other people on the internet, and there is so much anger at one time from everybody who has a different colored guitar and will threaten you and your entire family's life. I've done it to many of you. I'm going to kill you all. I've done that many, many times, as you know. And that is just sick in the head. But a lot of us are there. And if you want to hang around in an environment that is like that all the time, there is something wrong with you if you're drawn to that and you want to add to that just because. That's where the troll thing comes in. You just want to make people angry. Then there is something wrong with your head. If you want to be a musician, casual, take lessons on here from somebody, but please skip all the other crap. Just don't even look at it. It is mind poisoning. And forums, poisonous. It's just people with their own objectives, their own thoughts because of what they have and what they've done or never done or what they are lying about or telling the truth about. But there are millions and millions and millions of these people. Okay, so learn at your pace. Just be happy to play. Man, that's the most awesome feeling. It got me through 2 wives who took off. Both said, honest to God, that, well, you're just too nice. I want a bad boy. And that's the honest to God reason. And love my current wife, Rosie. She's a flippin' amazing. She gets it. And I even want to, of course, for those who don't know, my pink paisley telly that's getting burnt with me when I die, because, man, this is all consuming. But I am working on trying to only put out content that will not disrupt anybody or cause harm. It's hard to do that when you have to try to call out certain channels that are feeding you garbage. It's pretty much anyone you watch will be feeding you something, so be very careful. I know I sound like a douche saying this stuff, but you will learn so much more, so much faster, and it will make you a much better player, and you will sound like you, which is a very broad statement, but because, again, all of the greats, all these old dead people or whatever, they had a sound that everybody wants, but you're all going about it totally different than the way you should. You should explore your flippin' mind and your instrument. That is it. All the pedals, all the weird things, and modeling versus tube versus how do you set this, and who cares? Just play, just experiment with things, and you will come up with some of the most amazing things without anybody's help. So that's about it. Just if this is all you ever want to do is strum around on something like this, that is awesome. I applaud you. Anybody who can play any musical instrument at all or do anything that requires any talent, that's amazing. I mean, we're humans, we're not getting out of this alive. Whatever you decide to do in life, just enjoy it and leave everybody else alone. Figure out what makes you happy, and don't leave anybody in your wake. Don't step on people just to be mean because you're on the other side of a keyboard and people can't find you, see you, hear you, or whoop your butt. Okay? So the troll thing, stop it, grow up, and please just try it the old way, because this way isn't working. It really isn't. And again, that's why people want me to put up all my old videos again, which were full of hate and stuff from my ill mind, which I'm still trying to fix. But some of us are just programmed wrong at a certain point. You know, have a couple of mind-altering strokes and other things, and you become a different person, and you strive and strive and strive to just get better. Sometimes you have one day a month where you're able to even get on here and say this. Okay, so just be thankful for what you have. Quit chasing after what everybody else has. Do not covet thy neighbor's goods or his old lady, and so forth and so on. Work with what you have. Become amazing or become as good as you care to be, and ignore the rest of the world unless you have somebody that you just fully trust, that gives you enough, just enough inspiration and a few notes to get you another light bulb aha moment, and then shut it off again. Visit and whenever you're stuck again, and don't keep thinking you're stuck. Try to climb over your own hills, but if a couple years goes by and you still haven't done anything new, sure, go back to a reliable source, get over that hump, and you're gonna be so much more productive and more individual sounding, and the person that maybe the world will remember for many generations. It has to be some of you that's going to be that person. Somebody's going to be Hendrix, esque. So that's all I have to say. Just watch out with technology. It's a major double-edged sword. Again, I'm an old guy talking about new crap that's out there, but people are getting killed every day, looking at their phones, doing whatever. The internet has caused more anger and so many deaths. Again, people get so riled up just like they do when they're like road rage. But you get it on the internet because, again, somebody uses 9-gauge strings and you want to tune down a half step and use 13-gauge strings because Stevie did it. That alone will fuel somebody to murder another person, and that is nuts. So turn on Netflix instead and hold your guitar and play. Get some muscle memory in there. Okay, that's all I got to say. Just try that. Be an individual, not part of this sheep people who goes and watches and throws money at somebody. Here, answer my question. Here's a $20 bill. Oh, well, we're having Q&A today. Here's $5. Oh, here's $100 if you'll answer my question. Here's a Squire. Here's a Fender. Let's test them against each other. That is all stroking, you guys. You're wasting your time. Go play. Enjoy life. Remember, there's other things other than music. You're gonna lose half your life if you let it stay in your brain all the time. I know everybody's like, well, you gotta do it all the time or you're not gonna get good. If you experience things, then you'll have a subject matter to draw from creatively. So anyway, be groovy and turn off my channel, unsubscribe, whatever. I do try to help, and that's again why I pulled so many videos down. If it's hurtful, stop, and you know what's hurtful and what isn't. Okay, and stay out of the gangs, the forums, any of them. No matter what it is, if it's Bible chat, stay out of there. It's people who you don't need to be hanging around with. Why do you want to just listen to somebody you don't know that is probably psychotic as myself? Make sense? Be your own person. Get off this thing. Experience life. Experience your music. Be amazing. And love your family. Okay? So you guys play well, enjoy life. Okay? I can't express that enough. Okay. Be groovy. Later, kids.